The place of emotional intelligence in the workplace. The ability to identify, comprehend, and regulate one's own emotions as well as those of others is known as emotional intelligence, EI, and it is frequently quantified as an emotional intelligence quotient, EQ. The importance of emotional intelligence, EI, has gained recognition in the last few years, especially when it comes to success at work for both individuals and organizations. The purpose of this article is to explore the deep influence that emotional intelligence, EI, has on workplace dynamics and how it shapes a positive and effective work environment. Knowing what emotional intelligence is. There are 5 main components of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness is the capacity to identify and comprehend one's own feelings and moods as well as how they affect other people. Self-regulation is the capacity to restrain or refocus erratic emotions and impulses as well as the inclination to put judgment aside and consider an action before taking it. Motivation is the drive to work hard and persistently towards objectives without regard to financial gain or social standing. The capacity for empathy is the knowledge of other people's emotional states and the ability to respond to others emotionally. Social skills include the capacity to establish rapport, find common ground, and manage relationships and networks. The distinction between EI and IQ. Emotional intelligence, EI, is the ability to recognize, comprehend, and regulate emotions, whereas intelligence quotient, IQ, assesses cognitive skills like learning, understanding, and applying knowledge. Therefore, while EI is concerned with our capacity to effectively manage ourselves and our relationships, IQ is primarily academic in nature, pertaining to one's ability to memorize facts and speed of learning. The evolution of the idea of emotional intelligence throughout history. Darwin's research on the necessity of emotional expression for survival is where the idea of emotional intelligence originated. Traditional definitions of intelligence in the 1900s placed a strong emphasis on cognitive abilities like memory and problem solving. Nonetheless, scholars started to acknowledge the significance of the non-cognitive elements in the middle of the 20th century. Wayne Payne coined the phrase, emotional intelligence, in the 1980s while writing his doctoral dissertation. Subsequently, in 1990, psychologists John Mayer and Peter Salovey presented an EI model. But it was the science journalist and psychologist Daniel Goleman's 1995 book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, that popularized the idea. Since then, conversations regarding leadership and personal growth have centered on emotional intelligence, EI. The workplace advantages of emotional intelligence. Workplaces that are more resilient, productive, and empathetic are those where employees possess emotional intelligence. People with emotional intelligence are able to recognize, comprehend, and control both their own and other people's emotions. This skill improves interpersonal relationships by fostering understanding, empathy, and effective communication. It makes it possible for workers to freely share their thoughts and worries, which promotes a collaborative and talkative environment. Enhanced collaboration and leadership. Emotionally intelligent leaders are adept at understanding their team members' motivations, strengths, and shortcomings by developing a deeper connection with them. This comprehension results in a more cohesive and productive team environment. Additionally, EI supports leaders in inspiring their teams, resolving conflicts amicably, and giving constructive criticism. Increased flexibility and resilience in a changing work environment. Resilience and adaptability are essential in a work environment that is constantly changing. Workers with high emotional intelligence are better able to manage stress, adjust to change, and deal with difficult circumstances. They take a constructive approach to issues, are resilient in the face of adversity, and approach their work with flexibility. Emotional intelligence's place in leadership. One important factor that determines effective leadership is emotional intelligence. It affects how decision-making, team management, and problem-solving are handled by leaders. How effective leadership is affected by EI. Because they can better understand and control their own emotions as well as those of their team members, leaders with high emotional intelligence, EI, are more effective. This capacity improves their ability to make decisions, cultivates a supportive team atmosphere, and raises overall productivity. They are able to understand the emotional terrain of their group, foresee possible problems, and take proactive measures to resolve them, which lowers conflict and improves cohesiveness. Case studies of effective, high EQ leaders. It's common to see former PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi mentioned as an example of a high EQ leader. She was renowned for her compassionate management approach, constantly taking her staff members' opinions and feelings into account. She even acknowledged the parents of her staff members' contributions to the company's success in thousands of letters each year. The former CEO of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, exhibited high emotional intelligence, EI, by putting his employees' needs first and offering stock options and health insurance to part-timers as well. The company's success was largely due to his compassionate leadership style. Raising the EI of future managers and leaders. It is essential for future managers and leaders to cultivate emotional intelligence. This can be accomplished by engaging in mindfulness exercises, which raise self-awareness, as well as training courses that emphasize stress reduction, empathy, and active listening. In order to better understand one's emotional reactions and draw lessons from actual experiences, it is also advantageous to ask for and receive feedback from others. Emotional intelligence and workplace resolution. In the workplace, emotional intelligence, EI, is crucial for preventing and resolving conflict. High emotional intelligence, EI, leaders are able to recognize both their own and others' feelings, which helps them handle conflict in a calm and considerate way. Instead of concentrating only on the superficial conflicts, they are skilled at identifying the underlying problems and taking decisive action. Furthermore, they are able to respect and compromise between all parties involved because of their empathetic outlook, which validates their opinions and feelings. Techniques for managing and averting conflicts with emotional intelligence. To use their emotional intelligence, EI, for conflict prevention and management, leaders can use a variety of techniques. In order to completely comprehend all points of view in a disagreement and reply in a sympathetic manner that respects each side's feelings, they can engage in active listening. Furthermore, self-awareness can help in identifying possible triggers and controlling reactions to stop a conflict from getting worse. In order to avoid possible conflicts, leaders can also use their emotional intelligence, EI, to create an atmosphere of open communication where team members feel free to express their thoughts and worries. How EQ affects increased worker satisfaction. Employee satisfaction is highly correlated with emotional intelligence, EI. Positive work environments are produced by leaders with high EI because they are better able to comprehend and control the emotions of their staff. By recognizing and appreciating the work of their team, they can help employees feel valued and appreciated. Additionally, their compassionate approach can result in improved worker well-being and decreased stress at work, both of which raise job satisfaction. Employee motivation and emotional intelligence. Employee motivation and emotional intelligence are closely related. High EI leaders are skilled at determining the unique strengths and motivators of their workforce. This capacity enables them to assign work that complements the skills and interests of their workers, boosting motivation and job satisfaction. Furthermore, an emotionally intelligent leader has the ability to clearly convey the organization's mission and vision, giving employees a feeling of direction and motivation to perform to the best of their abilities. Establishing an environment at work that values emotional intelligence. Establishing an environment at work that supports emotional intelligence, EI, requires encouraging candor, understanding, and deference from all employees. By exhibiting emotionally intelligent behaviors like empathy, self-awareness, and active listening, leaders can inspire their team to adopt similar behaviors. Additionally, helpful are training courses and workshops that emphasize developing emotional intelligence (EI) skills. EI can also be incorporated by an organization into their performance metrics and values, which will further solidify its place in the workplace culture. Using emotional intelligence in recruitment and hiring. Due to its ability to predict a candidate's potential for leadership, teamwork skills, and ability to manage workplace challenges, emotional intelligence is now regarded as a critical component of the hiring process. Emotional intelligence (EI) tests conducted during the hiring process can reveal information about a candidate's capacity for empathy, decision-making, emotional stability, and interpersonal skills, all of which are important for long-term success in any position. Making sure EI is taken into account in addition to technical expertise and credentials. Technical expertise and credentials are crucial, but the hiring process shouldn't be centered only around them. Emotional intelligence ought to be given equal weight because it is a significant predictor of job performance. This balance can be achieved by including EI assessments in the interview process, which makes them equally crucial to evaluating a candidate as technical proficiency and work experience do. Workplace initiatives and training to promote emotional intelligence. Putting money into workplace initiatives and training aimed at improving emotional intelligence can pay off handsomely. Workshops, seminars, or coaching sessions that concentrate on important facets of emotional intelligence (EI), like effective communication, stress management, and conflict resolution may be included in these programs. These programs must promote active engagement and offer realistic, work-related scenarios so that staff members can put what they've learned to use. EI growth and progress measurements. A variety of instruments and evaluations, including performance reviews, 360-degree feedback, and self-report questionnaires, can be used to track the development and expansion of emotional intelligence. To determine the success of the tactics used and make the required modifications, ongoing observation and frequent feedback are essential. Enhancements in EI over time ought to be accompanied by improved productivity, job satisfaction, and interpersonal connections. Overcoming potential obstacles to putting EI initiatives into practice. Resource limitations, leadership lack of support, and organizational culture can all be major obstacles to the effective execution of EI initiatives. Furthermore, misunderstandings among staff members regarding emotional intelligence may impede buy-in. A strategic and all-encompassing approach including consistent communication, support from the leadership, and sufficient resource allocation is needed to address these issues. Tools and tests for assessing employee emotional intelligence. Numerous instruments are accessible for assessing emotional intelligence in the professional setting. The Talent Smart Emotional Intelligence Appraisal is one of the most popular. It is an evaluation tool that yields an overall EI score as well as scores for the 4 EI components: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. The bar on EQI, the GINOS Emotional Intelligence Assessment, and the Mayer-Salavi-Caruso Emotional Intelligence Test, MSCEIT, are additional resources. The significance of feedback and self-evaluation. In order to assess and enhance emotional intelligence, feedback and self-evaluation are essential components. Seeking feedback from superiors and coworkers helps people become more self-aware by giving them an understanding of their actions and how they affect other people. Contrarily, self-assessments force people to consider their deeds and feelings, which promotes self-management abilities and opens the door to personal development. Tracking and enhancing emotional intelligence at work with data. When it comes to assessing and improving EI at work, data is crucial. Organizations can discover patterns, areas of strength, and opportunities for development by monitoring EI scores over time. Employees' emotional intelligence can be developed through customized training programs and interventions that are informed by this data. Organizations can continuously monitor and improve their emotional intelligence strategies by conducting regular assessments of emotional intelligence, EI. These assessments can offer valuable insights into the effectiveness of these initiatives. The long-term effects of emotional intelligence on success and workplace dynamics. It is impossible to overestimate the influence of emotional intelligence on success and workplace dynamics. Organizations are developing leaders who can lead teams with empathy and understanding by developing employees' emotional intelligence, EI, which promotes a peaceful and cooperative workplace. As a result, success and performance both increase. Additionally, a workforce with a high emotional intelligence, EI, level can help the organization deal with change and adversity, which are often unavoidable in the quickly changing business environment of today. Thus, giving emotional intelligence development top priority and making financial investments in it can have a big long-term impact on any organization.